Hello, Book Troop, and welcome back to Summer of Sport. This is an event created by Mark at Book Time with Elvis to celebrate sports writing all summer long. A very relaxed event, which might account for the paucity of videos that have been made. I have been enjoying the hell out of it. I did last year as well. Mainly out of a sense of a relief of Catholic guilt, because I have largely ignored sports writing in my own reading. Even in the professional side of my own reading, I'll read the big things that come out, but I'm not a dedicated sports fan. There are rumors on Reddit that I am downplaying the extent of my fandom of specifically the Boston Red Sox. I totally deny those rumors. Of course, they can't be true. So I don't, since I'm not a partisan or a face painter like Putty, I don't tend to read most sports books. And that, therefore, Summer of Sport has been a wake-up, an amazing revelation of great stuff out there. Because even I'm willing to admit that sports writing brings out the best in a lot of writers. And recently I asked an old bookish friend of mine for a recommendation for a hockey book. Something that isn't a gay hockey romance, which I have cornered the market on for Summer of Sport. And he recommended a book. He recommended a book called The Game. And I reread it. I realized as soon as he recommended it that I'd read it when it first came out. I read it again and loved it even more. I thought it was fantastic. So I did what a lot of people do, including a lot of people do with me. I went back to someone who had given me a good recommendation to get another good recommendation. And he recommended a book to me, and this one I had not read. And I read it last night and loved it. Oh my God, he's on a roll. This is by Sean Pronger, and it says with Dan Murphy. I would guess from looking up Sean Pronger that with is doing a lot of heavy lifting. This is called Journeyman, and this, I think, is its modern cover. I don't know why half the novel's text is on the cover. I'm not going to bother to read it to you, but this is the story of a young kid who dreams about going to the National Hockey League and making it big in the sport of hockey. And he does get in and experiences what I would imagine is the experience of most people who get into professional hockey. The reality of it, not the dream. The dream is that you will be a star, that you will hang out with stars, that you'll be, best buddies and drinking buddies with your boyhood heroes and whatnot. And that doesn't happen. In hockey, or I would imagine in any other professional sport, they never know your name. You're just the latest body that's 50 feet away from them when they need it. And there's also no team loyalty. Pronger goes from team to team to team. He never makes a whole lot of money. He's never famous. There's never any name recognition. He sees the downside of the sport. And the downside, this is actually a very sad book. I don't think it was meant to be. I think it's meant to be a rollicking adventure story, but it's very sad. It's the story of someone who dreamed about his own future, worked his ass off to get that future, and couldn't make it into the dream. And all throughout the book, I got the impression that the author is stoppering down his aspirations, which I guess you would have to do in that circumstance, but still. Here you get the dark side of the sport. Here you get what happens if you are not the marquee name. What happens if you're just a body on the team? And you're not doing all that well, you're not performing all that well, maybe you're not all that expensive, maybe they, sorry, we don't want you, or maybe there are conflicts behind the scenes, back office conflicts or whatnot, so you go on to the next team. Maybe you make a little more money, maybe you make a little less money. Actually, the career ping-ponging of Pronger reminded me very much of a great book that I read years ago on professional rodeo people, especially bull riders. It struck me as very much the same, only in the professional rodeo and bull riding, there's even less money and far more danger of life-altering injury. But Pronger sees it all. He sees and experiences those injuries. He sees the mental and chemical shape of the men who go out on the ice sometimes. He's seen the venality and the outright evil of management. It was gripping. My friend was right. This was a terrific read. A totally different kind of read than The Game. The Game was shot through with, I believe, with narrative joy. I don't know anything about the author, but I believe it was shot through with narrative joy. I could sense that joy. And I think this book was meant to be along those lines, a kind of hard scrabble, every man's view from the benches up of the game that he dreamed about for so long. It didn't read that way to me. It wasn't sour, but it read to me very sad, very grim, but very good. Very, very good. I think I owe a lot to Dan Murphy. But anyway, that is my Summer of Sport book. It was another hockey book, and it was another really good one. I don't know. I don't want to give my friend a swollen ego. I like to be the one people come to for recommendations, not somebody else. But so I might not go back to him for a third recommendation about hockey, or really about anything else. Maybe I'll let the algorithm take control for the last week of the last 5 days of Summer of Sport. I want to send these events from August out with a flourish, even though no one else is making videos, and for the event that people are making videos, they don't want me. I still want to send these events out with a flourish because I'm going to miss them when they're gone. So this I do recommend. This is a modern cover, judged by how ugly it is. I'm assuming it's a modern cover. I have no idea what the original book looked like, but this is well worth your time if you like the subject of hockey. This will actually be a corrective to a lot of the mythology of hockey. The thing that it reminded me of all throughout, in the hockey sense, not rodeo, but when I was reading it, all throughout I was thinking of the great movie Slapshot with Paul Newman. I was thinking of that the whole time. This was very much along those lines. So I enjoyed it. Another success for Summer of Sport. So I will see what goes on the pile for tonight, and I'll report back tomorrow. Thank you, BookTube.